All right, let's take you here now. The AU Peace and Security Council is briefing on the situation on Sudan. Let's take you live there now.
Humanitarian ceasefire to allow the observance of the Muslim holiday Eid al-Fitr with a view to pave the way for a more permanent, unconditional cessation of hostilities. This global meeting also demanded that the belligerents establish humanitarian corridors to allow for unhindered humanitarian access to address the urgent and immediate needs of the population, including the rehabilitation of and civilian use of critical basic infrastructure, particularly water and electricity services. This meeting also called for the respect of the safety of all and protection of all diplomatic and international organizations based in Khartoum and other parts of Sudan. Given the status of the ongoing conflict then, the meeting also called for urgent resumption of political process through dialogue, reconciliation, and negotiation. These global stakeholders agreed will help towards the setup of an inclusive civilian-led administration. It was also important that the AU, along with all its actors and partners, strongly rejected any form of external interference in Sudan. It is also critical for us to inform the public that the need for coordination, collaboration, and harmonization of efforts, unity of efforts in getting to common action to stop the bloodshed in Sudan. Furthermore, the African Union and partners called on the trilateral mechanism comprising African Union, United Nations, and IGAD, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, to engage with the Arab League and the European Union, the Troika, and other bilateral actors to immediately engage the leadership of the Sudanese armed forces and the rapid support forces towards negotiated solution of this crisis. The enlarged mechanism is expected to continue to meet and to work towards the practical steps to address the issues of humanitarian access, ensure that the ceasefire is fully monitored, and the resumption of political dialogue. Let me use this opportunity to re-emphasize that the African Union continues to re-emphasize guiding principles that no military victory will solve this crisis. It is also important to renew the call that only a political process that is inclusive of all Sudanese-owned parties will help in solving this crisis rather than the embrace of any foreign interference. This crisis must be tackled within the ambit of silencing the guns. I wish to also recall that the meeting of April 20th mandated the African Union and the United Nations to coordinate international actors on Sudan with the objective of urgently ending the violence and the steps being made toward the stabilization of Sudan, the region, and our continent. There's, of course, a real risk of regional conflagration of this crisis, and indeed a form of internationalization of the conflict. Towards this end, there's a real need for the international community to continue to speak and act as one, better coordinated for the good of the people of Sudan. Let me end by reiterating the African Union's full solidarity and support with the people of Sudan as we call on the two generals to stop the fighting. Let me emphasize that the African Union, working with its partners, will continue to exert international diplomatic pressure on the belligerent parties. We call on them, we reiterate the call, renew the call for permanent ceasefire in the supreme interest of the good people of Sudan. I thank you so much.